Welcome, everyone. Hey, I'm Leping Beck, and this is our test program. We're having, with me is Lorraine Nickham, and we have a third person. Unfortunately, we got some technical problems. She could not get on Zoom. So we have Kari Donovan on the phone. This is a surprise, so we're going to try to do the best we can, and hopefully everybody can hear her. She is on the phone with us through a phone speaker, and that's the only way she can talk to us right now. But we don't want to miss the show. We already advertised to everybody. This is the first time we're doing this program together. Again, my name is Leping Beck. I am the publisher of Keep Your Living magazine. I live in Wilmington, North Carolina. I used to be a lawyer, immigration lawyer. So I learned one or two about the Constitution of the United States. And also the third fact I want to emphasize is I am a first generation immigrant. I'm from China, a socialist country. And I have a firsthand knowledge and experience about socialism. And the three of us, after Lori introduced herself and Kari introduced herself too, you will realize that what we have in common is our opinion and experience about socialism and totalitarianism. And this is the focus we're going to have for now and in the future shows. Lorraine, here, hi. Why don't you introduce yourself so I don't make mistakes?
Okay, me, this is my channel, my show. So lots of people, my audience know me. I'm the host of the show. But today I invited Leping host. I to be the guest. Yeah. Thank you, Leping. Very
Lorraine, I just want to make sure that people know where you are. You're in Florida, right?
Florida, yes.
Didn't you just go to the Trump, there was an event?
Oh, yes.
What was there today?
That was so amazing. I got up this morning, 7 o'clock. I arrived there like 9:30. And so I get the chance to sit in the row 6. That means
excellent.
VIP,
awesome.
The first line. So,
okay.
So I get so close to Trump that that was amazing. He looked great. He talked just like
excellent. Hey, in case you missed to introduce that part, your show, which is called QM America. Show, right? That's a YouTube channel. She is having a daily show, mainly in the Chinese language, and she already got over 10,000 subscribers, right, Lorraine?
That's right. We've got 12,000 so far, 12,000 subscribers. By less
so the other person who is on the phone, people can't see, I wish they can see her face, but I guess Kari Donovan. Obviously, this is about you, this show, actually, because you are the main character of this show, and we already advertised the Kari Donovan is under attack. The fact that you can't get on Zoom already proved you are really under attack. Hey, Kari, can you say hi and introduce yourself?
Yes. Hi, and thanks for having me on the show, because I love talking to you two ladies. I don't know that I'm not really the focus of the show, but the idea that ties us together, the three of us, the passion that we have to fight socialism and communism, things like that are sort of taking over here in America, is really, I think, really the focus of the show, right?
Yes.
And, but I appreciate being here and being a part of what you're doing. It's very important to me, and so I can share my part of the story, which is slightly different from the two of you, because I'm a 10th generation American, and I've never lived outside of America. I've never really been outside of America other than a few weeks here and there. So I'm a little bit different that way, but I share your passion for wanting to fight the forces that are potentially bringing this country to the same places that we know that are very dangerous that other countries have been to. So I'm really looking forward to having this collaboration with the two of you. I think that we can do a lot of things together. And thank you for sharing your platform, because it's hard to build 10,000 people. That's huge. I can't build 10,000 people on my own. So I appreciate the use of this platform and this collaboration with you two.
Hey, Kari, in case you didn't, tell us what your profession, like what you do, how, like you are the writer. I know you're the column writer for DJHJ Media. This is the whole start articles. Of this collaboration.
Yeah, so I write articles for currently DavidHarrisJr.com and DJHJmedia.com. I'm very excited, Leping, to have this connection with you, because you helped me get into my first Chinese. It's my first Chinese column, and that's very exciting to me. Because this has been a passion of mine for a long time, to communicate with people who speak Chinese. I mean, that's just exciting. So I am a former community organizer and social worker. Yes. I worked for a Democrat congressman until I was in college. And then since then, I have been on a mission to inform people that the country is in danger of communism and socialism and the ideologies that are very dangerous. So currently what I'm doing right now is homeschooling my daughter and, that kind of thing. And then just writing those columns for DJHJmedia.com.
You are obviously very productive. I see your articles all the time. You write how many articles per day? Like 4 or 5?
I could write between 6 and 20 articles a day.
My God, you're very, very productive. But hey, Kari, let's go to the center of this today's discussion. I know that it wasn't that the day before, on Tuesday or Wednesday, just a few days ago, this news went viral online, and you obviously started this. I found your article, and then I saw what you tweeted. Tell us a little bit about this. This article that we would call either, has to do with the Navy SEAL Team 6 and Benghazi and Biden. So
yes. So what I try to concentrate on in my articles is, and there are other people who are making videos about this same topic, and there are other people who are writing about the same content. And I think the more people who are covering this story, the better off we are. So I can really just, I'm just going to talk about what I know from mine, from what I did, which may or may not cross paths with what other people are doing. That's okay. Listen to everything, do your research, follow where it takes you. But for my article, what I found a videotape on Sunday night, and there's a saying, and there's probably something similar in Chinese, but there's a saying, look for the signal above the noise. And that means you're looking for something that is important, as opposed to a lot of other, just kind of white noise. And that's kind of how I try to find my stories. And sometimes I hit it big and sometimes I don't. But I'm usually looking on Twitter for things to write about, and something will hit me and I'll think, this is something, there's something deeper, there's something bigger, more meaningful. This is connected to something. Does that make sense?
Yes. So what did you find?
So on Sunday, I found a video about these three people who were talking, and two of them were whistleblowers, and one of them was the father of one of the men who was killed in Benghazi. And they were talking about a number of things. I wrote the article because what I picked up from in that conversation, and this is what I mean, I picked up something different in that conversation than some of the other people who are talking about it and writing about it. And so, not to discredit them, I'm not trying to discredit them, but what I heard in that interview that I wrote about was that Joe Biden, who is the Democrat candidate for president, had something more to do with the death of SEAL Team 6 than we have previously acknowledged. And I said, let's have an investigation. In my mind, and I don't know this, I don't have any I have no, I haven't spoken to anybody about it, but in my mind, when President Trump was retweeting my article, I think that's what he was saying as well. Mm-hmm. I don't know that. I think that. Does that make sense?
Yes. Kari, listen, okay. This, I actually, as, a regular American citizen, I was peripherally aware of what happened back 10 years ago in 2011, 2012. All we heard was, of course, we knew that bin Laden was killed. And then later there was a Benghazi incident that American died. And then later there was another huge accident, which is very sad. 30 American died, I believe, a helicopter, quote unquote, accident. And among them, there were 20 some SEAL team, 17 right, SEAL team members died. So those are all the Benghazi and then the SEAL Team 6, they're very tragic. But after that, we didn't hear much about it. And then, but things keep resurfacing. I actually, because of your article, Kari, I went to look at that video, and I watched that video twice at least. And those, the three characters, one is Alan Perot, and the other one was Nick Noe, and the third one was Charles Woods, who is the father of Tyrone Woods, who got killed in Benghazi. So those people, they are very, I'm not saying you should believe them or not, but they are, to me, a good witness to those events. And I would like to hear things from them. If I want to know what happened, actually, I would like to hear words from them instead of a third party or a fact checker to tell me, hey, who is who. I don't need to hear from the expert. I want to see, because I was trained as a lawyer. I like to have firsthand evidence. Evidence means witness and documents. People who are there, those are the best evidence. So I did listen to them, and to me, there's something there, what Alan Perot said and what Nick Noe said, and also Charles Woods. And I don't want to immediately discredit them. And I think we should give them a chance to speak. And also, if some people say what they said is not true, but I would like to see evidence that counter that. That's all I want.
Right, and looking, that's such a fantastic point, and that's something that only you can really speak to. And this is what I hope to bring out in these kinds of shows: is what's the difference between how China under communist rule handles dissenting opinion and what is going on right now, and you as a lawyer, right, with a scholarly mind and a professional degree, who's handled cases, for you to say that you would like to hear more leads me to believe, as a reporter, well, that's a professional woman who has a vast experience with communism and with America, having been in both. You've been here for quite a while, and you know what you're talking about. If you feel like you want to hear more, why are we not having investigations? That means that this isn't settled science.
That's
and for
right.
them to say that they're fact-checking my article, my point is, how can you fact-check my article when there's been no investigation?
That's
so
right.
Sort of, there are no facts.
Right.
So how can you fact-check me?
Right. So, I did go to law school. I got a JD degree, but I think as average American, every American citizen is entitled to the truth, the facts, and we have a, the government need to be supervised by all citizens, and we are entitled to information. So Lorraine, you you are first generation immigrant, you're from China just like me, but you're American citizen. Just as a citizen, how do you feel about this? And I think Lorraine actually did a show about this topic this week, 2 days ago. So she actually knows quite a bit about this. And what's your take, Lorraine?
Oh, first I want to let our audience know, I want to point out, this is the article Kari talked about. This is her article, yes? I tried to show this. Leping, did you see this?
Yes, I see this.
Yes, yeah, here everybody can see. This is the article Kari wrote. And then this is President Trump retweeted it. This is what we're talking about. So this is a big deal. Today, Karis is a big deal is because she wrote this article. Myself and many people, I go anywhere on the social media, I see people forwarding this picture. I even use this picture as my the face picture for my another show. Yeah, this is a this is of audience. I want to know. Kari is a big deal. She wrote this article and got people's attention. Lots of things they done, the Obama, whoever, they did so many bad things that it just, they get away from it. Every time they get away from it. And yeah, very, nobody can hold them accountable. And lots of people don't really know the truth. But Kari, this article and draw so much attention for people. Yeah, I just think this is amazing article. But I heard about they censored her. They censored her. Yeah.
Right. But then the more they censor, it's like, are you trying to hide something? So from what I got, I did not follow this before. So this is the first time actually I really paid a little bit attention to those incidents. From what I got, correct me, Lorraine, because you probably have more, you dig into this more than I did before. So from this brief video, and also later I listened to Nick No a little bit more about, what he said. Basically, what they were saying, that Alan Perot was saying was when these, in 2011, when when we executed bin Laden, the operation was somehow went wrong because bin Laden has in Iran actually by the CIA, by Biden and Hillary. They've known where he was the whole time, and they were waiting to have this operation, to have this trophy kill to help Obama to get reelected. So they ordered Iran to send Obama to Pakistan so they can have this operation and so they can have this show. But Iran actually, they sent bin Laden to Pakistan. But before the operation started, Iran took bin Laden back to Iran. So they put a decoy there, a double there. That's what Alan Perot was claiming, that who we killed was not bin Laden himself. It was a double. That's why they got rid of the body in a way that was very against custom, because Muslims, you don't bury them in the ocean. But anyway, that's what Alan Perot said. I don't know whether that's true or not, okay? It is a story.
Yeah.
And later, because that this operation went wrong, Iran blackmailed the Obama administration, saying that they want $152 billion. And under this whole thing was arranged by Biden and Hillary. Obama eventually had to agree, and that's how America gave Iran $152 billion. That was the deal. So we know that $152 billion was a fact. Nobody disputed that, but for what reason? I guess that was the dispute. And also when the Team SEAL got killed and the Benghazi incident, they all had to do with cover up. So that's what Alan Perot alleged. And he said he had evidence, he had documents to prove that. What I saw later online was some documents actually executed by Joe Biden's attorney. It was an agreement between Alan Perot and Brian Ettinger, who was Joe Biden's private attorney. So obviously the relationship was there. Whether what Alan said was true or not, we don't know, but I feel like this is worth investigations. You see here, those are this is the cover of that document. And then there was another, then the last page was the signature of Alan Perot and Brian Ettinger. So it was dated in February of 2011. So you can't hey, listen, you can, if you say Alan Perot is a liar, let's have an investigation. That's all I want. So, so Kari, fill me in. Did I pretty much brief it correctly?
Yeah,
just 2 days of study.
You're a lawyer, so I'm gonna, you did a fantastic job. That's exactly right. But then to pick up where you left off a little bit, is that I wrote a third article. There are 3 articles on that site, DJHJmedia.com. Under my name, you can go and you'll see I've written 3 articles on the topic of Alan Perot. The third one is the most interesting to me, and that's because I write about a movie that came out 10 years ago. 10 years ago. Okay. And I wasn't aware of it until I started doing a little research. I think I might have known about it 10 years ago and I forgot about it. I'm not sure. But when I saw it, I thought, hey, wait a minute. What's jumping out at me right now is this is 10 years old. And then when I put in Google search the title of the movie, which is Cocaine Feathers, I saw that there were articles by The Atlantic, by the Washington Post, by Fox News that validated this movie came out 10 years ago. And at the time, it was okay, apparently, for those people to write about this movie. The foundation of the movie is that Alan Perot is a falconer. That's very important. Yes. People don't think that that's so important, but the reason why that's important is because falconry is a huge sport in the Middle East, and that's the playground of the rich and famous. Okay, instead of play balls, they play falcons. Yeah, he had access to very wealthy people, including someone he met with 5 or 6 times, which was Osama bin Laden. He had met with Osama bin Laden, talked to him about falconry, and what I now know from looking at some of the documents that I have received myself is that Alan Perot is claiming, and I can't verify that this is true yet, I'm just starting to dig into it, is claiming that he was a part of something that was going to set up Osama bin Laden for capture at a Falcon event. That makes perfect sense. Now, going back to the movie, he laid it all out in the movie 10 years ago. And in a Fox report, that's in the article, I linked to it, in a Fox report, they validate Perot's story in the movie with a former CIA agent who says basically, yeah, this guy's what he's talking about is true. So here's the story. Why are we getting fact-checked and censored? Why am I getting dragged through the leftist media and called, a crazy conspiracy
That's
theory?
right.
When this information has been out for 10 years, if a stay-at-home mom in North Carolina can find it, the CIA can find it. Okay. The FBI can find it. People can do investigations. I can't tell you that it's true, just like you can't as a professional, a professional woman with a degree in lawyering. You can't prove it's true either, but you can surely say, let's have an investigation. So, that's really all we're saying. It's very important, though, and here's the difference between living under a communist rule and living in America, is that we have the right before an election to say, this is very odd. This person is running for president. Why do we not have more information? And that, I think, is what is bombastic and causing volcanic eruptions.
That's right.
From my point of view, anyway.
That's right. Let's go into our next topic, which is the aftermath of your article. How you got attacked. I noticed this. There was a video actually out about this what you talked about too. It was I think there was an interview of this lady, Anna Kate. I saw that video, but I shared that on Facebook immediately. I got a Facebook warning saying this article is being fact-checked by a third-party fact-check organization saying this is false information. This is it's beyond my belief that we are facing that. And I'm going to give this right now. I want Lorraine to talk a little bit about this because we're both from China. I am so used to being censored because when we use Chinese platform, the only media that we can communicate with each other was WeChat. It was a constant censorship, the flag warning and the canceling accounts. It's such a battle with the Communist Party. That it's such a joke. So so
that's something I think right. You two ladies.
It's unbelievable. It's happening in the United States of America.
About that.
Okay, Lorraine, go ahead.
Talk about that, Lorraine. Tell Americans who are listening.
Yeah. I have a big story I want to tell people today. It's my uncle. My uncle back then in China, that was Chairman Mao's time. And my uncle was in the military and he got some problem, a health problem, and then he quit the military, but he working in the, I don't know how to call that. It's kind of like a radio station, that was a very important job. And he loves that time he's totally brainwashed. He loved the Communist Party and everything. So one time he back to our hometown. That time I don't know Leping know or not, the Da Zhai.
Okay, it's a commune, yeah.
That means they set up this role model for people to study. They said this is so good. Everybody has to learn.
Everything is free there.
So then, and my mom's hometown is not too far away from that Da Zhai. And then my uncle back to the hometown, and everybody came to him and said, "Wow, this is all fake. The Da Zhai is all fake." They said they have everything. They have good food and rich and everything. It's all fake. And so they told him all the detail, why it's fake. And my uncle back then was a young man, 20-some years old. He thought, oh my God, they cheated the central government. They cheated Chairman Mao. So naive. So he wrote some letters to the central government. He said, oh, the Da Zhai, they cheat on the government.
All the facts are wrong, yes.
He was with a good attention. He thought he didn't know their trick. He didn't know there was from the top to the bottom, this all corrupted and all lying to each other, all lie to each layer. And he didn't know that. He was so young. So he wrote some letters to the central government. And one day, a couple of months later, the police, the secret police, whatever, show up 20, 30 at their home. And then they arrested my uncle, arrested my grandfather, my mom's father. So they threw them in jail, and they beat up my uncle. He was a young man. They beat up him to ask him, who told you to do this? He said, I just thought it was they lying to central government. So that's why I want to tell the truth. They said, no, must be somebody behind you to tell you to do this, to anti-revolution or whatever. So then he said, no. And then they beat him badly and broke his back. But then they want to make him like show people to, tell more people to shut up. Then they tie him. He couldn't even sit. He couldn't even sit on the chair. They tie him on the chair. And then they put him on a truck to show everybody. They drive the truck 10 hours a day to go up and down everywhere to show his anti-revolution, totally destroy his health. And then he being sentenced to jail for 18 years just because he thought they lying to the central government, wrote a letter. Then they sentenced him to jail for 18 years. If Chairman Mao didn't die very soon, a couple of years later, Mao, I think it's 3 years later, Mao,
right.
And then he get chance to get out. But if not, he would die in the jail.
In jail.
And that's how they censor your. That's how they censor your speech. And
right, but under the name of, I bet they accuse your uncle of spreading fake news. Yes. He was, yes, yeah. Right, because they got you are not entitled to facts. They are.
They lie, they knew.
Yeah, so there's no objective truth or facts. It's whatever they say what's true or not. It's by their standard. So if you don't agree with them, you must be fake.
Yeah.
And you're spreading rumor. You must be a conspiracy theorist, and you must be punished. Kari, do you see where you're heading right now? Are you afraid?
Yes. So exactly. And I've described it to people that what they're doing. And now, please don't misunderstand that I think that what's happening to me is anything near what happened to your uncle at all. It's
but you're heading there.
But in theory, let's just say in theory, they're dragging me into the public square and they're attempting to humiliate me by calling me crazy. Now, it's nothing at all what you've gone through, but my antenna goes up and I feel like, we're in danger is because we're starting to go down that path.
Yes. Kari,
because the ideology is already
can you tell us what they have done? So what they, specifically what they have heard and
sure. So what they've done. Yeah, so what they've done is they've censored. One thing that I'm complaining about is they've censored, and this is not America. This is not American. This is not our ideology of free speech, which is basically they've shut me down off of Twitter so that I cannot respond, and people are bombarding my account with, calling me names and telling me they're going to kill me and telling me that they're going to get my children, and they're doing that kind of thing on Twitter, calling me a fool and retarded and all kinds of things like that, and sending little cryptic messages and ganging up and doing this. You're not part of the gang, you're not part of us kind of mentality is all over my Twitter account. I can't respond because they've banned me. Okay. Now, the other thing is they've censored the article, but they haven't stopped themselves from talking about the article or talking about me. And so what they did was they made a little screenshot of my picture and a picture of the story of the picture that you talked about, Lorraine. And they're showing me, and then they put on my description on Twitter, and it's a little meme that they've made of me. And that has been posted around on the Washington Post, the Business Insider, Forbes, probably 10 or 15, media organizations where they're talking about how dangerous President Trump is to make him, and on one hand, it's to make me feel bad, like I've cost him some votes. And it's also to humiliate him that he would have dared, pass around such fake news as this retarded, stupid, conspiracy kook woman in North Carolina. And so it's very much so the idea that they're dragging me into the public square to show people, if you think you're going to step out of line, look what we can do to you. Right? Now, no, it's not getting your back broken and being driven around. It's not even close to that. But for Americans, whatever American has been here for, we've had so many generations of having free speech and taking it for granted that we're just going to say whatever we want. This should be very alarming. This should be like, I can't sit still right now. It's very uncomfortable to be censored this way. I don't like it. I want to talk about it. I want to stand up and defend my rights. I feel like I want to get in the public square and hit back, right? Because that's what Americans do. We have been conditioned now, so many Americans, to sit back and take it and be scared because it's the big tech. They have such authority over our accounts and where we've kept our pictures of our children. So we're just going to be nice and toe the line, right?
Yes.
That kind of brainwashing and the things that they hold over our head to make us be quiet. And I wrote about it on my Facebook page today. And I said, listen, as far as I'm concerned, I have nothing left to lose. Because if we lose America, everything to me is like a house of cards. It's not because we're superior. It's because we're the last beacon of hope and freedom in the world. And if people don't understand that, they're really sort of sheltered. I spoke with somebody from Hong Kong who said, we believe if Trump does not get reelected, it's the end of Hong Kong. Okay, so there are a lot of people who are watching us, and I say as Americans, we need to be stronger because we have still the right left to push back. When you're in communist China, your uncle he tried, he did push back with jihad and liquid pay the price, and other Chinese people said, okay, I can't go and do that because that's like, life and death. We don't really have, this isn't really life or death right now. So yes. I feel comfortable in saying, I'm going to stand up. I'm not afraid of what the left is going to do to me. Now, my mother-in-law and my sister-in-law apparently saw this thing, and they have sent notes around to people to complain that I'm doing something. Okay. Very uncool. Very uncool. So it's costing me a little bit in relationships that I'm trying to keep together for the, good of my family and my children. Those are pressures that people can feel, right? I mean, what mom is like, oh, what I really want to do is get into a big family fight right now, right?
Yes. But Kari, you are doing, I admire what you're doing. I mean, it takes a lot of courage to do what you do and not back down. You're saying that we're not at that stage yet, that people are not dragging you out to public square. You're not beaten, and, they're not sent into jail or execute you. However, but I want to remind everybody, okay, in China, that did not happen overnight either. It happened in the 50s. It started happening in the 50s. And in the 60s, it went full blown. Millions of people got persecuted, suicide, executed, sent to labor camps, died in jail. But if you look at China back before communists took over in 1949. In early 50s, it was not like that. So it happened starting with the political correctness. So you start shutting everybody up, and then intimidation, and then forced participation. So it didn't, it's step by step. It actually won't take long.
And that's such an important point that you two really can speak about to Americans who are just so used to the benefits that we have of being citizens, and they're just taking it for granted. I say, listen to some first generation Chinese people who can tell you the things that have happened in their families, because I'm not crazy to say I'm worried about the direction that we're going in. No. It may not happen for 10 years, but it's going to affect my children and my grandchildren. So I have that little signal thing, the signal above the noise. The signal is telling me this is important, people. Pay attention. No, we're not to the point. I'm not claiming that I'm being persecuted like her uncle was, but I'm telling you it's going to happen if we don't do something.
Exactly.
That's my story.
That's my take is once you lose your freedom of speech, it will go down the drain very, very fast. Freedom of speech is our last defense of democracy. And once you lose that, the country is going to totalitarianism quickly. So we are in a very, very dire situation because we already lost our freedom of speech.
Mm-hmm. We're losing our freedom of speech. And so this, I have kind of an I don't care attitude. I mean, I'm trying to preserve family relationships. I have children. Yes, I'm trying to preserve some family relationships here for the betterment of my children. But other than that, as far as I'm concerned, I'm so passionate about this topic. I feel like I don't have anything else to lose, because if we lose America, it's just, I feel like it's going to go fast and we're not going to be able to pull it back from the edge. And that is going to affect the people that I care about, the children, my family. It's really about my kids. That's what I'm trying to do.
Right. Yes, I totally agree with you, Kari. So what I notice now is the big tech, Facebook, Twitter, now they are using the, fact check. To me, that's just the first step to a ministry of truth, which is the government controlled speech. And it just appalled, I'm just so disturbed by the fact that some congressmen, I heard Democrats, congressmen are advocating for that. They say maybe we should have a department that controls speech to tell people what we should listen to, what kind of information Americans should listen to, and what we should not listen to. Are you kidding me? This is what Nazi did. This is what communists did, and they're doing that right now.
I don't want to take too much away from Lorraine. I want her to jump in too, but listen, I was a Democrat and I worked for a Democratic congressman, and the reason why I left, it's not just about party. It's not just about you have to be a Republican, but currently right now, there are too many Democrats who would side with the power plays that would control the fact checking and things like that. It's an ideology that we're fighting. Unfortunately, right now, the Democrat Party is full of people who don't have our sense of danger. But when Lorraine was telling her story, I'll tell you, ever since I was a little kid, stories like that make me want to run into the fire. I want to run closer and fight about it. And that's got to be some kind of hardwiring. I don't know, but because we are so blessed that we don't have to face what her uncle faced.
Yeah.
Yes, right? Lorraine, what's your comment? Lorraine, before we run out of time, what's your comment?
What would your uncle say?
Yeah, on this big tech control.
Live in the United States didn't even know how lucky they are, how great this country is. They thinking about the communist socialists is better than United States. This is totally, I want to cry when I see this, when I saw the Bernie Sanders was running for president. He is an openly a communist socialist guy, and then, but he was running for president and there's so many young people supported him. I want to cry because the communist socialists, the same trick and the same trick.
Under ideology, yes.
So they play this power game, and whoever fall in their trap, you go to hell. It just simply you go to hell. That's it. But young people don't know that, and they wanted it. And I just feel so. We have the more duty to tell them this is bad. The United States is the best. The capitalism is the best. United States is the best country in the world. Yet do not think and those communist socialists are better than here. No, they only take you to hell. It's so sad. People want it. Yeah.
I totally agree with you, Lorraine. And that's why we're doing this. We want to bring the truth about socialism to Americans and defend this last beacon of light. We want to preserve our republic. We want to live in a free society. This is, if we lose America, where do we go? We escape from China, already escaped from socialism, and I certainly don't want to go back there again. So anybody before we end the show, we have final note on this? Kari?
I'm so excited, and I'm proud to be working with you two ladies on this topic. I mean, it's so important. Your voices are so important, and just thanks for this opportunity. Lorraine, thanks for sharing your platform. I'm really appreciative of that.
Well, thank you so much, Lorraine. And is there anything you want to add?
Today, even I have a little show. I just feel this censorship that go everywhere, every corner. Even my shows back then only have like 8,000 subscribers or even less. Then they censor me too. I made a show. I invited 3 doctors back then. We talk about the hydroxychloroquine. Hydroxychloroquine works and safe, that topic. I invited 3 doctors, 2 medical doctors and 1 pharmaceutical doctor, talk about this topic. And then this show being removed from the YouTube. And also lots of my show, and if we support Trump, if we talk, they think we talk bad about Kamala Harris or Biden, they put the yellow label on my show. So if we put a yellow label on the show, they will not recommend it widely. And it seems like they kind of censorship too. So they censor all the way everywhere. My show, when when my show qualified to do the commercial, I look at it and said, oh my God, 80% of them was being put on the yellow label, being not totally censored, but kind of like a limited thing.
Yes. Well, we only have
couldn't believe it.
Weeks to election. I encourage everybody to really look at the situation and wake up. Defend America, defend our freedom, and don't go socialism, people. That's my final note.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Well, thank you. I guess we'll say goodbye to everybody, and hopefully we can have our regular show, maybe weekly. We're still talking about it, but this is our test run.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll see everybody again.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.